Message from the dark. When Cicada first appeared. Hello. We are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. There is a message hidden in this image. Find it, and it will lead you on the road to finding us. We look forward to meeting the few that will make it all the way through. Cicada 3301. If you find this video interesting, don't forget to like to support, share for your friends to explore, and subscribe to 2D Mystery so you don't miss any mysteries that are about to be revealed. A message like no other. On January 4th, 2012, internet users on the 4chan forum, a place known for its chaos and absolute anonymity, suddenly discovered a strange post in Obsection, a place famous for everything from bizarre memes to dark rumors. Little did anyone know that the seemingly simple post would be the beginning of one of the greatest mysteries on the modern internet. The image was just a black background with simple white text. We are looking for highly intelligent individuals. There was no name, no logo, just an invitation or a challenge to those curious and intelligent enough to explore. A sort of opening puzzle, but not a simple game. It was more like a call from a secret organization lurking in the depths of the internet. The first journey of decryption, the puzzle in the image. Many people passed by and ignored it, but some stopped, looked more closely, and began to sense that something was wrong. Curious people examined the image using steganography, a technique of hiding data in image files, and discovered a hidden message inside the image. When deciphered, the message appeared. Tiber's Clavdiv Caesar says, LXXD 33M 2 MQKYV2 GSQ 3 Q equals W. PMKYV2 GSQ 3Q. A seemingly meaningless string of characters, but cryptographers quickly realized this was a Caesar cipher, an ancient code used by Julius Caesar to send secret messages. Decoding it with the right key, they obtained a link to another image. From there, the hunt began. The links kept opening, leading to websites, ancient documents, QR codes, even software hidden inside the deep web. The spread like a fire. When the first person to solve the puzzle shared their discovery, the Reddit community immediately went into a frenzy. Forums like reddit.com/cicada3301 sprung up with hundreds, then thousands of members trying to solve the puzzle. Anonymous chats were taking place on IRC, Tor servers, and other encrypted platforms. For the first time in the history of the internet, a puzzle could unite people from all over the world in a hunt where intelligence was the weapon and knowledge and perseverance were the only tickets to the next door. Game or selection test. The increasing complexity of the puzzles led many to suspect that this was more than just an alternate reality game. ERG. Here are the factors that make many experts sit down. Extremely high level of encryption. From Caesar, Vigenère to book cipher, RSA, TOR, hidden services, even audio encryption and binary code hidden in digital photos. Global scope, leading to the field location, real locations around the world, Seoul, Warsaw, Paris, Seattle, where participants have to go to the place to find QR codes attached to lampposts. Clear organization. Each clue is carefully prepared, synchronized, and leaves no trace of identification. From there, hypotheses began to appear. CIA or NSA. Is this how intelligence agencies recruit hackers? Secret hacker organization, like Anonymous, but more secretive and sophisticated. A self-learning AI. Some believe that there is no individual behind it, but an artificial intelligence testing its ability to select and interact with humans. V. Only the worthy will meet US. Those who solved the entire first puzzle chain said they received an email from A.Onion address, the Tor hidden network, asking them to keep it a secret and not reveal the next content. And then they disappeared. No one knew who they were. No one had any more information from them. Cicada 3301 continued to hide behind the digital curtain, leaving the Reddit community in a state of disbelief. In the final message of the first chain, Cicada wrote, "There is one last step, but only those who solved every step entirely will be invited." And from then on, the darkness swallowed up all the clues. 6. A mysterious circle begins to form. The ripples from Cicada 3301 are not small. Hundreds of blogs analyze each step of the decoding. Many programmers, security experts, and cryptographers are drawn in. Dedicated communities have been created just to study the Cicada puzzle. What makes it great is not just its difficulty, but the way it challenges human patience, intelligence, and cooperation. A game not for the masses, but a screening process that only those worthy will continue. The end or the beginning. When silence fell after the first set of puzzles, many believed it was the end, but they were wrong. A year later, on January 4th, 2013, a new image appeared. Cicada was back. The game had begun. Ordinary people only saw an image, but special people saw a path. The question was no longer, what's so interesting about this puzzle? But, who is behind it all? And why are they looking for such a smart person? Tracking the trace, the global hunt. A journey that began with pixels now reaches the real world. Anonymous Cicada Hunter. The radio, from binary to hidden encoding. After the first decoding step from the image, the next clues quickly revealed themselves, but in a way that few could have anticipated. Each step opened a new layer of encryption, a door deeper into the maze of Cicada 3301. The puzzle solver discovered that the seemingly random strings of characters contained binary code, converts the image into strings of zeros and ones, leading to a secret text file. QR code, hidden inside a PNG or JPEG image using the least significant bit, LSB technique. Vigenère cipher, a classic type of encryption that requires the solver to find the correct keyword, usually hidden in some obscure detail beforehand. Book cipher, based on quotations from books, such as William Gibson's Agrippa, where a single wrong keyword renders the entire solution useless. Each step is an intellectual torture. The player must understand history, cryptography, ancient literature, anonymizing software, and sometimes even quantum mathematics. When the real world becomes the stage, one of the biggest and scariest twists comes when the clues lead to the real world. In mid-January 2012, a mysterious QR code, when decoded, led the player to a series of GPS coordinates. This was no longer an online game. Cicada 3301 had stepped into the real world. These coordinates are spread across the globe. Location details: Seattle, USA lamppost near Westlake Square. Warsaw, Poland used bookstore. Paris, France near Sacré-Cœur Basilica. Seoul, South Korea, Jongno 3 GA subway station. Sydney, Australia bus stop near Circular Quay. At these locations, players find small, paper QR codes carefully pasted on lampposts, telephone booths, or public billboards. Each code leads to a new hidden website or code. No one knows who placed these clues. They go there, take pictures, and share them on Reddit. But no surveillance cameras record the code setters. No one is ever caught by a Cicada person. It's as if a global shadow is controlling the game from shadows. A race not for the majority. With each step, the puzzle gets more and more difficult. Fewer and fewer people can keep up. The puzzles required: write a decryptor in Python, Ruby, or Bash. Understand Tor protocols, PGP encryption. Analyze prime number strings. Interpret metaphors from Gothic literature, metaphysics. The community was now divided into three groups. True solvers, those who were obsessed with the puzzle as an invitation from another world. Stalkers, just watching a live stream, forums, reporting the progress. Vandalists, trying to spam, disrupt the decryption flow, disrupt the flow of information. And the strangest thing, no one knew what the reward was. The people who solved and disappeared. By the end of January 2012, some people were said to have solved the entire first string. They receive a link to a Tor site with a request to send a PGP encrypted email to continue. And then they disappeared. No further posts. No information shared. Reddit, Twitter, IRC accounts suddenly dead. It was as if someone had imposed a mandatory condition: absolute silence. The community was abuzz with theories. Were they recruited and signed non-disclosure agreements? Were they silenced? Or worse, was it all just part of a never-ending ARG? A Reddit user who claimed to have been contacted by Cicada posted a short message after disappearing for 2 years. They made me disappear for a reason, and I can't talk about it. Don't try to find them. You won't. U/Solvi Coagula. Puzzles, religion, and the cicada. The particular thing that haunts the community is the symbol of Cicada 3301. A cicada, an insect famous for its annual life cycle of hiding underground before suddenly emerging. Perfect metaphor. Hiding in the shadows, only emerging when the conditions are right. Awakening the intellect, like the chosen ones who must shed their skin from the majority community. Mysterious loop, promising to return. Some even see a hint of mystical philosophy in the message. We want the best, not the followers. Is Cicada modeled after an underground religion or a social psychology experiment? Technical analysis, the expert's puzzle. Renowned cryptographer Bruce Schneier once said, "This is not an amateur's puzzle. Whoever made Cicada 3301 has deep understanding of cryptography, network protocols, and human behavior." Cybersecurity experts point out, coordinating dozens of global clues in real time is impossible for an individual. The security level of the Tor servers used by Cicada is almost impenetrable. No trace, no metadata, no IP logs. No one can hack any part of Cicada 3301. End of the chain, 2012. A door closed. By the end of February 2012, Cicada posted a final message. "We have found the individuals we sought." Thus our month-long journey ends. Thank you for your dedication. We will no longer be posting here. And with that, the door slammed shut. But they were not gone. Exactly 1 year later, on January 4th, 2013, a new image emerged. Cicada was back, with a challenge harder, darker, and stranger than ever. No longer a game, no longer an illusion. Cicada 3301 was an organization, or something, that had the ability to control, connect, and manipulate human intelligence on a global scale. And the question still echoed. Who were they looking for? And for what purpose? Leave no trace. Cicada retreats and returns. The door has closed, but not forever. Anonymous IRC log, 2013. The Dark Return. On January 4th, 2013, exactly 1 year to the day since the first puzzle appeared, Cicada 3301 returned. No warning, no promotional campaign, no teaser video like a typical ARG. Just a single image posted on a little-known forum. A black and white photo containing the familiar Cicada logo and the words, "Hello again." Our search for intelligent individuals continues. The puzzle had just begun. New puzzle, intact but enhanced. Compared to 2012, the 2013 puzzle is much more complex. Hiding codes using Fibonacci sequences and large prime numbers. Referring to classic philosophical books such as Principia Discordia, Corpus Hermeticum, Liber Vel Legis by Aleister Crowley. Advanced steganography. Hidden text in the sound waves of .flac and .ogg music files. Incorporating fractal geometry, Tor network underground maps, and strange, unexplained code. Players are no longer amateurs. They are security programmers, mathematicians, hackers with deep knowledge of mystical philosophy and parallel digital technology. Why is Cicada back? The big question is, what is Cicada really up to? Why are they back? What are they testing? Who are they recruiting for? Some prominent theories. Recruiting high-level personnel for a secret organization, like the NSA, MI6, Mossad, or some private intelligence group. An anonymous techno-cult, with a philosophy of only the worthy will be enlightened, like a secret society like the Freemasons or the Hermetic Order. A global social experiment, run by a university, government, or secret organization to test the limits of the internet, anonymity, and decentralized collaboration. A self-training superintelligence. And puzzles are its way of finding people smart enough to understand it or confront it. New order. Cicada 3301 control of information. Cicada no longer allows the Reddit community to discuss openly as it did in 2012. Those who try to share puzzles on the forum are deleted or ghosted. Rumors say Cicada only interacts with individuals individually. This time the approach is strictly secretive. Only a few clues are shared publicly. The person who solves the next step is sent to a separate dark node, and no one else knows they have entered. The community is almost divided. Those who remain feel like they are standing in front of a gate, but do not know how to open it. Voices from the dark. Around mid-February 2013, an anonymous email appeared on a security mailing list with a subject line. "They are watching. Stop digging." The message contained an unbreakable PGP cipher, along with a quote from Helena Blavatsky's The Secret Doctrine, a 19th century mystical text about ancient wisdom and the guardians of human evolution. This was no game. Someone, or something, was actually watching the puzzle. Repeating the loop, Cicada, 2014. On January 4th, 2014, another image from Cicada appeared. The puzzle began again, in a recursive maze format. This time, much of the data was encrypted using elliptic curve cryptography, an algorithm that only extremely advanced cryptography experts can process. Among them, there was a file that led to a previously undisclosed, decentralized peer-to-peer system, possibly the private system that Cicada used to communicate with its chosen ones. What do they want? The leaked document. In 2016, a strange document called Liber Primus, meaning the first book, was released. It was believed to be the official document sent by Cicada to those who passed the initial levels. The document, written entirely in ancient Norse runes. The content contained passages that seemed to combine religious philosophy with technology. Repeatedly mentioned the concept of liberation from the information control system and awakening true wisdom. Some translated quotes. To truly wake, one must first open the black door within the mind. The child who questions the world will be the one to free it. However, much of Liber Primus remains undeciphered, even to this day. Cicada is not just a puzzle. It is an ecosystem where those who are smart enough to realize that they are being tested on multiple levels of reality. They no longer act openly as before. They disappear, but leave behind a poignant message. Come find us if you dare. But no, you're being watched. Liber Primus, the book no one can solve. You walk blindly through the shadow, but those who see must lead the way. Excerpt from Liber Primus, partially decoded. The mysterious appearance of Liber Primus. In 2014, as the third round of Cicada 3,301's puzzles came to a close, those who solved them began to notice a distinct change. The puzzles were no longer a series of discrete tasks, but began to focus on a single object. A digital book written in an unknown language called Liber Primus, Latin for the first book. The book was introduced through a series of files hidden deep in the Tor code, containing text encoded in the runic alphabet, an ancient system of symbols used by Germanic and Norse tribes in the early first millennium. Runes, the language of the chosen. The rune script in Liber Primus doesn't exactly fit into any classical system. It appears to be a customized version, combining Elder Futhark and Cicada's own symbols. When decipherers from the Reddit and 4chan communities began translating it, they found some of it could be translated using simple letter substitution techniques. Some pages needed to be deciphered in a philosophical semantic structure, as if the meaning were hidden in layers of symbols. Others remained completely untranslatable. There was no structure, no clear grammar. It's not just a written language, it's a coded way of thinking. Redditor/u/Everdivine, Cicada decoding specialist. The message inside, decentralized, deinstitutional, deorder. As the first few paragraphs of Liber Primus were translated, the message slowly emerged, and it sent shivers down many people's spines. Some quotes. Your mind is a prison if it is locked in comfort. The child who is not shaped by the system becomes the storm against it. We are not followers. We are not leaders. We are the voice in the dark that cannot be silenced. The book does not mention money, fame, or any specific organization. It conveys a profound philosophy of absolute freedom, the breaking of all control systems, and the search for mind awakening beyond artificial limitations. The mystery of the untranslated pages. Of the nearly 60 pages of Liber Primus, about 28 have been partially deciphered by the community. However, the rest, especially the pages of repeated symbols, strange geometries, and grammatically irregular sentences, remain unsolved despite thousands of attempts over the past 10 years. Some say these pages can only be solved by a change of perception, that is, by understanding them on a high spiritual or philosophical level. Or they are dead ends intentionally left to mislead impatient players. The Chosen, where are they? A curious thing is that since Liber Primus appeared, no one has publicly claimed to have completed the entire puzzle or entered it. Rumors of anonymous emails sent to successful players, asking them to stop sharing information publicly. A separate group, invited to join a secret decentralized network, untraceable through any regular browser. Or successful solvers who have disappeared from the online community, leaving no trace. The big question remains, where do they get in? And will they return? The hypothesis, Liber Primus is the key to the final door. Many experts believe that the entire Cicada puzzle is not for entertainment or recruitment, but a system that tests the depths of intelligence, morality, and character. Liber Primus is not to be solved. It is to be understood. Like a sacred book, if you're not qualified, you will only see symbols. But if you awaken, you will see the door hidden in the language. Warnings in the dark. From 2017 onwards, many people who participated in decryption began receiving strange messages. Several emails with valid PGP signatures from old Cicada nodes, warning, not all doors should be opened. A video of unknown origin, in which a masked figure recites a quote from Liber Primus. When the world awakens, the gate shall shut. It is unclear whether this is real or a joke by an anonymous user, but it adds to the mystery, ritual, and seriousness of the whole thing. Cicada shuts down, or it just goes hidden. After 2017, there was no public sign that Cicada 3301 was continuing with new puzzles. However, the old website was still active, with occasional light updates. Old Tor nodes occasionally emitted heartbeat-like signals, as if the system was still alive. Liber Primus was still incomplete, still there, challenging the world. We don't know where they went, but if they want us to find them, maybe we still have a chance. Liber Primus is the holy book of the awakening. It is not for the masses. It is for those who dare to walk through the darkness without fear of losing themselves. Whether a form of recruitment, technological cult, or an ancient, self-learning AI, Cicada 3301 has left a legacy that no other era has ever had. A codebook containing concepts beyond language, beyond systems, and beyond humans. The final theories. Who's behind Cicada 3301? The best conspiracies are the ones that don't need to hide. They hide in plain sight. No one knows, and that's the problem. In the decades since the internet began, there has never been a puzzle so sophisticated, mysterious, and secure that no one has been able to identify the organization or individual behind it like Cicada 3301. No internal information leaks. No traitorous members have been exposed. No financial evidence, IP addresses, or technical flaws have been found, which raises the question among researchers. Only the most powerful organizations can be so invisible. Hypothesis 1. Intelligence Agency. CIA NSA Me6. This is the most popular hypothesis. Cicada 3301 was a covert recruitment campaign by one or more intelligence agencies. Basis. The encryption capabilities, anonymity, and global reach of the operation far exceed the capabilities of a typical private group. The first few rounds focused on code-breaking skills, GPS coordinates, Tor, and PGP, all fundamental skills in modern intelligence operations. The communication style was concise, non-emotional, and used valid PGP signatures in a highly professional manner. Counter-argument. Agencies like the CIA have formal recruitment programs and do not need to resort to this kind of mysterious approach. Cicada publicly states that it is not affiliated with any government or military organization. and its PGP signature has never been forged. Thesis 2. A deep tech corporation. It is possible that Cicada 3301 is an anonymous private technology organization operating on the fringes of the traditional tech world with the following goals: recruiting geniuses outside the conventional academic system, building a distributed computer or artificial intelligence system beyond government control. Subthesis: IS Cicada self-evolving software. Some experts suggest that Cicada was not created by humans, but rather is an AI system that has evolved on its own, testing humans with puzzles to determine who is suitable to join its cognitive ecosystem. Hypothesis 3. Cult of knowledge. It is possible that Cicada is a modern cult, not a cult of gods, but of knowledge, free thinking, and liberation from mind control. The signs. The message in Liber Primus is deeply philosophical, not calling for specific political action, but for personal awakening. The player's selection system is extremely similar to the testing the new believer's mechanism in ancient mystical cults. There is no invitation to money, fame, just a promise of deeper knowledge if you are persistent enough. You are not chosen. You must find your own way. Hypothesis 4. DRG, alternate reality game. Some people still believe that Cicada is just a giant ARG, a long-running interactive game with the sole purpose of challenging minds and attracting attention. But if it is a game, then who is the sponsor? Why was it never commercialized? Why has no one ever exposed the organization behind it, despite the millions of participants? Given its global scale, operating costs, and technical complexity, it is hard to believe that this is just a joke. Hypothesis 5. Awakening system, gateway to another world. The most controversial hypothesis. Cicada is a transfer system of consciousness for those willing to escape physical reality, a kind of soul selection funnel in the digital age. Coincidences. There are many references in Liber Primus to doors, dreams, people who are no longer of this world. Those who are said to have entered have disappeared from the forum, never to return. Some community members claim something happens behind the screen, and it's not just data. Are they one or all? Perhaps all the theories are right or wrong. Maybe. Cicada is a group of former intelligence agents, white hat hackers, cryptographers, philosophers, and machine learning AIs who have come together to build a system to select successors to the knowledge of the ages. Like a digital age Templar organization, no nation, no ideology, just one motto: find the truth. Be awake. Conclusion. Cicada 3301 has never been exposed. They come like a night wind, mysterious, perfect, invisible, and leaving no trace. They don't ask for your trust. They don't ask for your admiration. They just ask the question and then disappear into the darkness, leaving you with the question. And if you're patient enough, smart enough, brave enough, maybe one day you will be the one to receive the final message.